For my book talk, I picked 2 books by the same author, Brian Jaques. The first one is Redwall, which was published in 1986, and the second is Mossflower, which was published in 1988. Mossflower is a prequel to Redwall. Redwall tells the story of Redwall Abbey, and they are invaded by a bilge rat, Cluny the Scourge, and he has one eye because it got taken out at some point in his previous adventures, but he comes and he likes to invade places, take them over, and basically pillage and ravage and do all the really nasty things. In his way is Matthias, who is a mouse, and Matthias's friends, Constance the Badger, Abbot Mortimer, the record keeper, Methuselah, and a bunch of other cast of characters. There's some sparrows, there's an adder, there's some foxes, there's some stoats. But it's the story of Matthias and his journey from possibly becoming a member of the Abbey to where he's actually going to end up in his life. I would highly recommend this for older students, or students who have a really high reading level, who you feel need a challenge, because while it's, got battles and blood and guts and gore, and it doesn't really go into the details. It kind of just glosses over some of the nastier sides of life in a battle. And I read it when I was in 2nd grade, and it was very age appropriate. So for your high cap students who need something to read, or in 6th to 8th grade, for your students who are looking for that next level up chapter book. And then Mossflower is, like I said, a prequel, and it tells the story of Martin the Warrior. And Martin the Warrior is this mythical figure in Redwall, and it tells the story of how Martin the Warrior made it to the area, all of the things that he had to go through in order to defeat the villains who were 2 wildcats in the area. And while neither of the books has serious pictures, they always include a map at the beginning so that you can follow our adventurers' travels. And then at the beginning of each chapter, there's these little pictures of things that are important. Like in this one, we see the castle of the wildcats that this adventurer is going to see. One thing I would have to say is that it's also a really good book to introduce the idea of personification, how we take animals or other creatures and turn them into things with human emotions and human feelings, kind of along the lines of the movie The Brave Little Toaster. Other things you could do with this, that fantasy narrative, how we tell a fantasy story. Here's the start, here's the middle, here's the end. As Brian Jaques wrote, he got super formulaic. You start out at the Abbey, you leave the Abbey, you come back to the Abbey and save the Abbey. There's only a couple, like this one and Redwall, that don't follow that formula. But I highly recommend them. I recommend them to adults. This is the copy I was given in 2nd grade. As you can see, it's falling apart. I had to tape it. So, yeah, these are my books.